Welcome to Soul Spirit Story AC, where every heartbeat tells a story of faith, love, and redemption. The city shimmered under the golden haze of the morning sun. Expensive cars glided down the boulevard like silent kings of steel and glass. Among them, a sleek black limousine pulled up beside a small, greasy auto shop that barely held itself together. Inside that humble shop stood Armin, a young street mechanic. His hands were blackened with oil, his clothes torn, but his eyes burned with the kind of determination that only struggle can give birth to. A loud laugh echoed across the street. From the limousine stepped Elena Carter, one of the country's youngest self-made millionaires. The CEO of Carter Motors, a woman known for her sharp tongue, colder heart, and unmatched ambition. Her designer heels clicked on the concrete as her bodyguard stood behind her. "Is this the famous mechanic everyone's talking about?" she said, smirking. "The one who fixes engines better than machines themselves." Armin wiped his hands on a rag and nodded. "That depends," he replied quietly. "Do you need help, or are you here to laugh like the rest?" Her red lips curved into a cruel smile. "I'm here for entertainment." She gestured at her luxury sports car parked nearby, its engine sputtering. "This car cost more than your entire shop. I want to see if your magic touch can fix what even my engineers couldn't." The crowd gathered. Street vendors, taxi drivers, and kids watched as the mechanic approached the broken masterpiece. He listened to the engine, his ear close to the metal, eyes focused, every movement deliberate. Elena crossed her arms, tapping her foot impatiently. "Be quick, I don't have all day," she said, checking her diamond-studded watch. Minutes turned into an hour. Armin worked in silence, tools clicking like whispers of hope. Sweat rolled down his temple, but he didn't stop. Finally, he turned the key. The engine roared, alive, powerful, flawless. The crowd clapped in awe. But instead of gratitude, Elena smirked and said, "You got lucky. Even a broken clock is right twice a day." Her words cut deep. Armin said nothing, just gave her a small, calm smile. "Luck doesn't fix engines," he said. "Patience does." She rolled her eyes and stepped into the car. But as she accelerated, the engine suddenly coughed, smoked, and died. The car stopped right in the middle of the road. Laughter erupted from the onlookers. Elena's face flushed with anger and embarrassment. She stepped out, furious. "You did this on purpose," she screamed. Armin walked over slowly. "No, ma'am," he said softly. "Your car's fine, but you're not. You didn't let the engine breathe. You wanted to rush it, just like life. Even machines need patience." Her anger froze. For the first time, she had no clever reply. He turned away and walked back to his shop, leaving her standing there, silent, humiliated, but strangely thoughtful. That night, Elena sat in her penthouse, staring out at the glowing skyline. Her mind replayed his words. She had built an empire by crushing competition, by never slowing down. But something about that mechanic's calm strength shook her. She picked up her phone. "Find that mechanic," she told her assistant. "I want to see him again." The next morning, Armin was surprised to find the same limousine outside his small shop. Elena stepped out, dressed more simply this time. No crowd, no arrogance, just curiosity. "I owe you an apology," she said quietly. "And I need your help." He looked puzzled. "Help? My company is testing a new eco-engine," she explained. "But it keeps failing. I've spent millions on research, and still, no progress. I heard what you did with broken engines. I want you to see it." He hesitated. "I'm just a street mechanic, not an engineer." She smiled faintly. "Sometimes, the street knows more than the office." Days turned into weeks. Armin worked side by side with Elena's top engineers. He didn't use computers or fancy formulas. He used instinct, experience, and heart. Slowly, he made small changes. Adjusted valves, rewired connections, listened to the rhythm of the machine like it was alive. Elena watched, amazed. For the first time in years, she felt grounded, connected to something real. The mechanic who she once laughed at now taught her lessons that no business school ever could. Late one evening, as they worked under the soft hum of factory lights, she asked quietly, "Why do you care so much about machines?" Armin looked at her and smiled. "Because machines are honest," he said. "They don't pretend. If they're broken, they show it. People hide their damage. The words hit her deeper than she expected. That night, as they tested the engine one last time, it roared to life, clean, efficient, powerful. The prototype worked perfectly. Alina's eyes widened. "You did it," she whispered. "No," Armin said softly. "We did it. Weeks later, Carter Motors unveiled the new model, an eco-friendly engine that would change the future of transportation. But when the media asked Alina about her success, she didn't talk about her wealth or her leadership. Instead, she said, "This was made possible by a man who taught me that brilliance doesn't wear a suit. It wears grease-stained hands." The reporters laughed, thinking it was a metaphor. But for her, it was truth. After the event, Alina walked back to the small shop where it all began. Armin was fixing an old truck. She smiled as she approached. "You didn't come to the launch," she said. "I don't belong in those rooms," he replied with a grin. "Maybe not," she said, stepping closer, "but you belong somewhere greater." He looked at her, confused. "And where's that?" She handed him a letter. "Head of Innovation, Carter Motors." He froze, disbelief in his eyes. "You're offering me a job." "I'm offering you a partnership," she said. "Because you fixed more than an engine, you fixed my way of seeing people." For the first time, her smile was warm, real. Armin took the letter, his hands trembling slightly. "Then I accept," he said. The two stood in silence for a moment, as sunlight poured through the dusty glass of the old garage. Two worlds, one of luxury, one of labor, finally met in understanding. Months later, Carter Motors became a global symbol of innovation and compassion. Alina and Armin continued working together, but more importantly, they became friends, bound not by status but by respect. Sometimes, when visitors came to the company's new research center, they saw a quote engraved on the wall. "Patience fixes what arrogance breaks." And beneath it, two signatures. Alina Carter and Armin Khan. The millionaire who once laughed at a street mechanic, and the street mechanic who taught her how to listen. Voiceover outro. Every soul has a story. Some are written in gold, others in grease and dust, but all are worth hearing. This was Soul Spirit Story AC, where every ending is just a new beginning.